We're here today to talk to you about an event that happened at the Lake County Jail on September 19th, where Edward Robinson III passed away. There's some video that's going to be shown today. In the interest of transparency, Sheriff Curran promised to release this video to the community, to the public, Lake County residents. He will speak a little bit about meeting with the family last week as well. There are two investigations that are still ongoing regarding this incident. There's the Lake County Major Crime Task Force investigation that will wrap up as far as they still have evidence that they are going over, reviewing, awaiting lab reports, and so on and so forth. There's also an internal review that Sheriff Curran ordered following the incident. That is still ongoing, and there's due process involved with the employees who are under investigation, but the sheriff will talk about that a little bit as well. So I'll turn it over to Sheriff Curran.
Essentially, we begin with Edward Robinson III. He was a 32-year-old male. Died on September 19th at 12:17 p.m. in the emergency room at Vista Hospital, which is in Waukegan, Illinois. I think it's important to note that we met with the family, his mom, and expressed our condolences, and we released all videos to the family prior to today. We notified them of the press conference that we were going to have today to release the video. And essentially why we're having this is three reasons. One, I think one of the hallmarks of our administration has been transparency. Two is accountability. And thirdly would be honesty. And I'd challenge anybody to find an incident where we did not meet all three of those. We're not perfect, but we do hold people accountable. Lake County Sheriff's Office has a proud history of saving lives, as you're all well aware. We're leading in terms of naloxone and Narcan saves throughout the county, and really recognized for that throughout the state and the country as well. I want to talk a little bit about corrections, where in the last 5 years we've stopped over 170 suicides. And over 250 incidents where an inmate attempted to harm themselves. In 2018, corrections officers have already stopped 22 suicide attempts and 14 attempts of self-harm. So the video we're going to play for you all in a minute, and I recognize, and something that I've had our department, our office as well recognizes, that there's dignity in all human beings. And that's why the video was upsetting to me, as an individual is laying on the ground, and quite frankly I didn't think that there was the rush that I would have hoped in terms of applying CPR, and the concern that should have been showed by the officers that were there in the command, certainly. So you'll have a chance to observe that right now. So this is in administrative segregation unit, which is in the third floor of the Lake County Jail. People that are inmates that are in that unit are there for disciplinary reasons. So essentially everybody has their own cell. They're on lockdown most of the day, 23 hours. Mr. Robinson, you're not going to see really much in the way of Mr. Robinson at all, probably just his feet. There's 2 inmates assigned to this area, 40 beds, and those are the 2 officers that you see that are checking in on him right now. So this is approximately 11:09, and just by way of background, I think we've already indicated that previously at 6 o'clock, so the shift changes at 6:30, you would have had the officers on the midnight or overnight shift call jail medical to come up. They would have,
Just after 6.
yeah, so they had checked in on just after 6. Now they're making, initially they're making rounds, and that's what draws the attention, right? It's not quite lunchtime.
I'm sorry, no, so at 6 o'clock when they first had contact, they were passing out breakfast to him. And at that point, they noticed that he was lethargic and...
Do you want to step to the microphone so we can just...
And identify yourself?
Yes, please.
Sure, I'm the Under Sheriff David Hare. So at about 6 o'clock in the morning when they delivered breakfast, they found Mr. Robinson to be a little lethargic and had difficulties communicating with them. So they contacted our medical staff at that time. The medical staff did not come down to do any type of evaluation on him. We continued to make our typical rounds, and at approximately 9:30, 9:17, I believe, on the time, they did medical rounds as they do on everybody in ASU that has medical issues. At that time, a nurse did go in and evaluate Mr. Robinson, and he was then left until lunch was served at this time. And at about 11 o'clock is when these two corrections officers took his lunch in there. They found him to be basically in the same condition that he was at the 9:30 check. And what you're seeing here is the medical emergency that they called at that point because they felt that his condition was not improving.